Good morning everybody, and today we have the first look at the new Minelab X-Terra Elite. So here it is folks, the new Minelab X-Terra Elite. Now it comes in two different packages. It comes with the Elite model that comes with wired headphones, V12 search coil, which is that, and a coil cover fitted charging cable, and then there's the Expedition pack which comes with everything that I've just said apart from wireless headphones that replace the wired ones, and it also comes with an extra V12X search coil, so it comes with two search coils and the wireless package. Now I've been quite excited about this because some time ago I got thinking to myself, in my wisdom, wouldn't it be interesting if Minelab brought out a multi-frequency version of the X-Terra? Now the old X-Terra Pro, I call it old now, but it's a relatively new machine still, is a very cool piece of kit. I like it, it's easy to use, interchangeable frequencies, half decent on the beach as well at 8 kilohertz. But I always thought to myself, it lacked that multi-frequency, multi-IQ finesse. And wouldn't it be good if Minelab could make an X-Terra Pro that was fully multi-IQ? There we go. And here she is. Now this machine's interesting in so much as it is a single frequency metal detector combined with a full multi-IQ frequency detector. So you've got best of both worlds. You can use it on 15 kilohertz or you can use it in multi-IQ depending on where you're searching. 15 kilohertz single frequency is very good. A lot of machines already operate on that and people do very well with them. They're easy to use. You don't get as much EMI, electromagnetic interference, on 15 kilohertz either, believe it or not. And it's just a good all-rounder. But the true beauty of these machines is its multi-IQ technology, which means you can use it pretty much anywhere: land, beach, wet sand, you name it. Now we're going to look through some of the features, but just before I start, this is right out of the box. This is the first time I've actually seen the machine, never mind used it. So I do apologise if I miss anything out, but I'll see if I can cram everything that I know already into this film about this. So this is a fairly straightforward metal detector, and it really does fit nicely in that price bracket where, you know, the Minelab Vanquish range fits, and a little bit above the old X-Terra Pro. But when you think about the wireless package with the X-Terra Pro, it's very competitive, this machine. So I'm going to get people asking me, oh well, what about my Vanquish machine, or what about my Equinox 600, 800? They're still very good machines, folks. People find a lot of things with the Vanquish range, a lot of things with the old Equinox range 600 and 800. Still a brilliant detector, or detectors. However, this is, for me, everything moves on. So if there was a choice between the older machines and this model, then unfortunately I'd have to go for this. And the reason is because it's just crammed with so much features. This has got a faster, more modern processor in it than the Equinox 600, for example. So that tells you everything you need to know. It's got a better stem system, it's got better coils on it, it's got a better arm cup on it, it's got everything better for me than this machine. Now there will be some people say, well, there's nothing wrong with my machine, and I know that, I understand it. I'm just giving you the information and my opinion on these ultra modern detectors that Minelab are bringing out, and this is one that will really pack a punch for some people. Right, so we'll start with turning the machine on. It's very simplistic, very much like the Nox or the even the X-Terra Pro. Just button on the side, goes through the sequence, as you can see, and we've already got the adjustable bar on the left hand side, which is for your plus and minus for your sensitivity. 25 is maximum. We'll back that off to 20. You've also got these icons flashing. I'm just going to press that. Here is Park 1. We changed the modes on this machine, very much like the Equinox again, just by using this little button here, which tells me we're in Park 2 now. Press it again. Field 1, Field 2, Beach 1, beach 2 and then back to park 1. I'm going to do this test in field 1, which has always been my favourite. So we've got that. Just a quick one on this, just on these features on this interface. It's pretty much the same as the Equinox in that respect, but this has got some different features in it that are different to the Equinox 600 and 800, and we'll go through that in a minute. Top left, battery indicator, dead easy. Plugs in, recharges, the battery's in here, folks, in this part, the handle. Charges up like a mobile phone would, USB. Few hours, little green light flashes here. When it's a continuous green light here, then it's fully charged. So it's very, very simplistic. Now, if you're detecting and you're site specific and you're having a different day, for example, detecting in a field, say for example, and you want to change it to 15 kilohertz, you just press it to that. Go straight to 15. No matter what you're in, field 1, field 2, part 1, part 2, 15, and back into multi, straight, just one press. Dead simple. Press this button, the settings button, takes us in AU. We can do a noise cancel. Don't want my ugly mug on the screen there, folks, really, do we? So that's done a noise cancel, so that was very simple. I would expect people to do that every time they start detecting. So remember, press that button, settings button first. It comes up this little icon here, AU. Lift the machine up a little bit, press the tick and cross button, and that does a noise cancel. So always do that when you start off. So we've got the noise cancel, then we've got ground balance. Now Minelab specify that 0 is the best. You can manually ground balance this machine, or you can actually change, if you wanted, your desired ground balancing settings. You can also pump the coil. See if I can get away with doing it. We're in the ground balance. If you hold your finger on the plus and minus, you can pump the coil to manually ground balance this machine. So it's very straightforward, very, very straightforward. So it's pretty easy. Don't get lost with anything. That's the key to these modern metal detectors. People get frightened of using them. Don't get frightened of using them. They're very, very simplistic. So we've got ground balance, then we've got volume. Now we can see it's on 20. I like to crank the volume up to maximum just so I can hear everything. 25 is maximum. You can hear that. It doesn't go any further. 25. And also, which is interesting, if we have it on 25 and we keep our finger down, it goes over to this, which is like an iron volume. So you can see it on 4, none, depending if you want to hear volume, iron volume coming in, you can crank it right up. 25. Me, personally, I would have it on about 8. So that's a new feature. So there's an iron volume on this machine, as you can see. T1, 8, which is interesting. Get back into the system. Then we go again. I've gone too far. Let's just go back, folks. Then we've got threshold. All the way to 25. I don't use a threshold. Some people swear by it. I don't like it because it's too noisy for me. But it can mask out iron, it can mask out certain... When you're using it, you can use it to great effect, actually, some people with the threshold. Just having that background hum when you're detecting, and it can mask out the iron and things. It can be quite handy. I don't like it. I don't use it, but some do. So that's your threshold. Now, this is interesting because you've got tones now. As you can see this icon here, you've got the tones. Now, some people do get lost in the menu and can't remember what these settings are. In the box that these machines come with is a sticker with the menu across the bottom, so you can just stick the screensaver over there and it's got the menu settings along the bottom. Now, at the moment we're on 2-tone. You can use it on 1-tone, 2-tone. This is where it's different from, say, the Equinox 600, for example, and obviously the other machines that Minelab have made over the years. 1-tone, 2-tone, 5-tone, which is a favourite for some. I prefer 2, but a lot like 5. Then you've got all tones, which is a huge range of tones, which is actually pretty good. I like the all tones on my Equinox 900, which is the same as this. So get that in your heads if you can. The Equinox 900 has also got these tone settings in. Very, very good. It seems to amplify the deeper targets for me. So if I'm on a site where there's a horde potentially, and there's a scattering of coins at all depths, all tones potentially could pick out the deeper targets. Seems to amplify the deeper targets. And then you've got the DP. Now the DP is, again, it's almost like a target amplifier, so you'd only use that on specific sites. I wouldn't use that for general detecting, but it will come in handy for certain sites and certain conditions, I guess. So you've got a whole host of different tone systems on this X-Terra Elite, which I think is brilliant. We'll come out of the tones, we'll drop it back to 2, we'll come out, go back into the system. You've got accept and reject, so basically you can bring in this toolbar here at the top, this black bar, you can accept and reject certain objects, certain targets, as you can see, to your own requirements. So you can basically customize this machine to wipe out iron, to be better around iron, to bring iron in. Just basically you can customize the machine to your own requirements, which is really handy. I'm leaving this on -16 for this test. And then again you come across to recovery speed. Now you know it's recovery speed because it's got this little icon down here at the bottom right, which indicates a coil, as you can see. Get my finger out the way. My big hands are always in the way. So we're on 3 recovery speed, which means this machine will pick up coins and artifacts lying next to iron quicker. However, there is a compromise in depth. Just remember that. So the higher you have your recovery speed, the depth is compromised ever so slightly. The lower you go down with your recovery speed, the deeper the machine becomes, but the slower and more ponderous it becomes as well, especially around coins lying next to iron, etc. So for me, I would be using this machine for everyday searching on either 1 or 2 recovery speed. Okay, so 1 or 2. For this test we'll use it on 2. So we go back into multi-frequency again, we go back into the settings, we hold our finger on that and it goes into FE. So this is your iron settings, your FE settings. Now the more responsive this machine becomes to iron, the higher. So you've got 2 is the highest FE, 1 goes to 0, and it actually goes down to -1. Now that's as far as it goes. So you've got a new range of settings on FE: -1, 0, 1 and 2. For me, 1 or 0 would be sufficient. If I was going to use it on -1, again, that would be site specific, and it would be good at unmasking objects next to iron. I think on certain sites it'd be really good for that. I think it's a really cool feature, this. However, I could see me, I've not used it yet folks, remember, so I don't know yet, but I could see me getting caught out on some sites with potentially deep iron on -1. So for general searching, for me it would be 0 or 1. 0 or 1. There you go. So that's the settings. Now, very straightforward. If I was going to be using this on a general, let's see, a field that I've been on before where there's a mixture of coins and artifacts, a little bit of iron around, which is probably like a lot of fields in the UK that have been used a lot in the past, I would have this machine. For me, this is only me, on field 1, I would have the sensitivity up to about 22 there. Okay, I'd have the FE 1, I'd have the recovery speed on 2, so I'm just showing you what I would use it on, folks. Ground balance 0, okay, no threshold, we'll go back, maximum volume, that's what I would use it on. Very, very straightforward. But you can, just kicking off with my mobile phone folks, because like a fool I haven't put it on aeroplane mode. There you go. Age creeps up on us all. My memory banks aren't as good as they used to be. So that's what I would use this machine on. It's very straightforward, but again you can customize it and tweak it to your own requirements. Now before we set off and have a little go in the field with it, just to talk about other settings on this machine, as you can see, you've got these buttons on the side. You've got 2 there. Well, we can see that. You've got 1 on this side. That's obviously your on and off button. If you turn this off and kept your finger on it, it'd go to a factory reset. We'll try that for you. So that's off. So if I turn it on and keep your finger on it, let's see if it works. FB, factory preset. So if you needed to do a factory preset, to turn it on, you just keep your finger on that button. Dead easy. Just drop the sensitivity down a little bit. Some people do need to do it for whatever reason. They might get lost in the menu system, they might have cocked something up. Just keep your finger on that, go straight for a few seconds, straight over to a factory preset. And you've also got a backlight here, an adjustable backlight. You can also, let me just move that little bit of a white flake off the side of there. That's landed off the tree, which is casting its blossom. You can also activate, at the back of this machine, there's an LED light that shines on the coil for low light searching conditions. I'm not going to turn it on now, but it's a very, very simplistic thing to do. You can turn it on and off at your requirement by, I think you go into the volume, and then you keep your finger down the volume, and that activates the LED light. Somebody will tell me I've done that wrong. I do apologise, but I'm trying to remember how the X-Terra Pro was. Up here on the top right, there's a button, so you can turn that on. No harm in doing it now. If I can get my finger around it. There we go. And you'll see the icon flashing up the top right. Just see that, folks? There we go. Now, if I had my wireless headphones with me, I'd turn my wireless headphones on and they would match up with the Bluetooth transmitter in this machine, and then I would become completely wireless. So that's your wireless, dead easy. Just turn that back off. And that, in a nutshell, is it. We've also got features on this machine, such as this, which is all metal. So if I wanted to search with this machine, coming out of discrimination mode, and I want it to be in all metal to hear everything, I would just press that. And as you can see at the top, the toolbar's all black, so there's no discrimination. However, because I could be using it on, for example, 2 tones, I would still get that low grunt for iron and high tones for anything potentially desirable. A lot of people like all metal searching. I use it occasionally, and I do very, very well with it, depending on what sites I'm detecting on. So I used to use it on a Roman site where there was loads and loads of iron on it. I wanted to hear everything, stick it into all metal. As I'm searching, I can hear all the grunts, but in between the grunts, you can hear them high tones. You dig them, and bingo, hey presto, there's a Roman coin or artifact lying there. So it's fantastic for that sort of thing. So we're coming out of that again. This is your pinpoint mode. We'll see the pinpoint mode in action in a little while. But in a nutshell, that is the X-Terra Elite. As I said, I can't see Minelab making the Equinox 600 anymore, and possibly maybe not the 800. This is a really cool upgrade for those machines. Let's go and see what it's like on the test bed. I've pretty much got it on the settings that I showed you earlier. I've done a ground balance on it already. I've done a noise cancel, just to go over some of the targets here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this test bed. However, just for the people that have not watched this before, there's been items such as coins and artifacts, a little bit of gold, a few silver coins, Roman coins, medieval buckles, that sort of thing, buried on here for over 12 years now, so they've really bedded in. Some people watch these videos and say, well, why haven't you dug it out? The reason why I'm not digging it out, because they've been planted. These coins and artifacts have been planted here over 12 years ago to bed in, so we can test machines over them objects like this one today. So that's why they stay in situ, and that's the reason why we do it, folks. Instantly, what I've realised about this machine, I just had a little go with it before I started the film off. It does seem to be more accurate on the targets, more stable, possibly. And there's the first target. That's a coin, a Roman coin, a decent sized one. Let me think. Size of Japonidas, a little bit bigger than the AE3 type Roman coins. And that's banging it over at 60 on the screen. VDI numbers are coming up, dead stable. Really good two-way target. And it's down about 6 inches, so any machine really would pick that up with ease. And that's a lovely, stable two-way target. And another. 4 or 5 inches. Now what's interesting about this is a silver coin, a sixpence of Victoria, Queen Vic. Double blip, so it's telling me it's rather shallow. But yeah, it's now this is a Georgian halfpenny, which are quite big coins actually. you remember what they look like, folks. I'm just going to turn away from my shadow. Look at the numbers on the screen. Much higher because it's a bigger coin. Tone slightly weaker, not as booming, but you would absolutely dig that all day long. Pinpoint, you don't have to keep your finger on the pinpoint, by the way. Just touch it once. So my finger's off as I'm moving over to the object. Very, very accurate, folks. And gone are the days when you have to keep your finger on the pinpoint. He says, just as a big wagon goes past, the more humans that cram themselves into this area, the noisier it becomes. Just a part of life, I'm afraid. So if I go over it again, it's in pinpoint mode at the moment. And away. And that is how to pinpoint, folks. Dead easy. This machine is so crisp. It is actually, now here's the thing. I'm using this now, right? I've used the Equinox 600 briefly. I used the Equinox 800 a lot, and I also now use the Equinox 900. This machine, right, sticking my neck on the block and probably opening myself up to a little bit of criticism, but you know, I'm big enough and hard enough to take that. I think this is more stable on targets, or at least it seems to be. Buckle, artifact, quite deep, 62. Just easy, just very, very easy. I'd love to get this out in the field actually, but at the moment a lot of the sites are under crop, folks, and as pasture grows, because of the summer, I've got to get on the land that's cut. Now here's an interesting one. This is again a little bit of silver. Lower numbers this time because it's a smaller coin. Again, 6 inches, 7 inches. 44 on the screen, dead easy. What a nice machine. What a nice machine. Also, I rate these coils, folks. I've always said I don't like the big fat round Equinox coils. I've never been a lover of them. I've always gone for these rugby ball shaped coils, slightly narrower and longer. They just seem to lead the way for me. This V12 coil is a beast. I like it. There we go again. Now this is interesting. This is interesting. The UK guys that find hammered silver coins, this is a cut quarter. So if you remember, the medieval pennies would have been cut into 4 quarters. This is a quarter of that coin. So the cut quarters indicated a farthing. We buried it down about 3 or 4 inches only. You go any further than that, it becomes very scratchy, and most metal detectors won't pick up a cut quarter past that depth anyway. But look at this. Good target, but look at the numbers. 11. Now, for those of you that detect with metal detectors such as this and others, and you go by the numbers, it's always advisable to dig the low numbers, and that's the reason why. Look at that. Great audio, low numbers, folks. There you go. So that gives you in a nutshell how this machine operates, but it's very, very well balanced. The one thing I would lose on this machine is this arm strap, sorry. I don't like it. I just feel a little bit restricted in it, so I'll take that off. Other than that, what a machine. What a machine, I love it. So that's the first look at it. There's going to be more tests on this machine, folks, so don't don't criticise me too much for doing something so quick, but I thought I'd get it out there and show you the settings, how it operates, how it functions, and how it performs. But I will be doing more videos with this machine on pasture and plough coming up in the next few months, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, fantastic detector. Love it, absolutely love it. Well done to Minelab. Right, we'll be back soon with another video film at the Team Unearthed. Bye for now.